What's up, vlog? So I just bowled my first PBA Regional tournament, and this is what I learned. So this tournament was held in Edmond, Oklahoma. It was the Edmond Southwest Open. This was a great experience for me. It was an incredible way for me to learn. Even though I lost money doing it, I'm thankful for the experience and I'm glad I went through it. So there was three main things that I learned throughout this weekend. The first two things that I learned tied directly with the third thing that I learned, and it's kind of revolved around that third thing. So the first thing I learned was to find my focus. This tournament, it was kind of an experiment for me, I guess, since it was my first one. Haven't really done anything like this before, especially on the PBA side. And so it was kind of hard for me to find a good thing to focus on before my shots. I think my main thing that I was trying to do was to not focus too much, and that led me to try to not think about anything at all, just to kind of let me go through, the motions, just try to let everything flow. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, but I think I would have benefited a lot more from focusing on like one or two things, like I've previously talked about, focusing on one or two things that will help me in my approach and in my overall shot. And this is where I kind of struggled. I didn't really have much of a focus on much at all, and I think that's where I kind of lacked. It showed in my results of my shots. So finding my focus, I think, was a huge thing for me, and that's something I'm going to keep working on. I mean, I've talked about it for a little while. I don't want to focus too much and I don't want to focus too little. I want to focus right in the middle of those two things, and if I can master that, I think I can really hone in before each shot and just kind of get my routine going and execute my shots better and more consistently. So that was the first thing that I learned. So the second thing I learned was to trust myself. This was kind of a problem during this weekend. It wasn't a huge problem. There were a lot of shots where I did trust myself. I was trusting in my ability to throw the shot the way I knew how. When that happened, I would execute the shot pretty well. But whenever I had a little slip up, if I pulled the shot a little bit, that's where I would kind of start to fall down. And I would start to not trust myself. Throwing each shot, I would try to tell myself, oh, don't pull the shot, and that would of course lead me to pulling that shot. And this kind of just had a chain reaction. I think I ended up pulling a vast majority of my shots, and that wasn't the greatest, but it was a great way for me to learn. Trusting myself has been kind of a new thing that I've been working on. I've had some buddies show me that my anger doesn't only affect me, it affects people around me. And with that coming to light, it was kind of a rude awakening, but it was also a blessing in disguise. So this trusting myself thing, I think, stems from that. So as I keep getting better with not getting angry, not getting frustrated, I think trusting myself will also get better with that. So I definitely lacked trust in myself over this weekend, and it showed, but it was a great way for me to learn again. Now it's just something else for me to work on, to keep grinding at. It is a huge part in bowling well. So that was the second thing I learned. So the third main thing that I learned from this weekend that the other two things tie in with and directly relate to is preparation. I was not nearly as prepared as I needed to be for this tournament, and it definitely showed. It showed with trusting myself, it showed with finding my focus. So preparation was huge. I needed a lot more preparation than I had, and that's all on me. That's my mistake. It's definitely something I'm going to learn from. The next regional that I bowl, I'm gonna prepare better. The next college tournament that I'm gonna bowl, I'm gonna prepare better. Anything that I'm gonna bowl in, I have to prepare better if I want to be better. So this was another great learning experience for me. Coming unprepared definitely showed. It showed in every aspect. And I think that doesn't just relate to bowling, it relates with anything that you want to be good at. If you want to be good at something, you have to prepare for it. You have to practice at it. You have to work at it. You have to grind. You have to fail to know how to win. Preparation is huge. If you don't prepare, you might as well just not participate. But that was a great way for me to learn. I mean, what better way to learn than to fail? So these three things of finding my focus, trusting myself, and preparing are, I think, like three huge, if not the biggest aspects to work at and to get better at, to be the best bowler that I can be. I've thought a while about like things that I've learned and considered a lot of things, and like these three things are so tied together, and they make your game so much better if you really focus on them and work at them. So I'm really happy with what I learned from this weekend. And performance-wise, I will share how I performed. I averaged 170. I think my lowest game was like a 137. So my performance was not great. But my three things that I learned were the cause in that performance, because I wasn't prepared, I wasn't trusting myself, and I wasn't finding my focus. And it definitely showed with the 170 average. I mean, for my first PBA Regional, it's not bad. We bowled on Viper, so it was a tough pattern, but but it wasn't the toughest I've ever bowled on. I've definitely bowled on more difficult things. And when I think about it, it wasn't the pattern that was causing the problem. It was me executing my shots inconsistently. So yeah, average 170, shot on Viper. There was 8 games. An awesome thing that came from this, my roommate from JUCO was bowling in this regional and showed up at practice on Friday, and we were bowling, practicing together, whatever. He was like, man, wouldn't it be awesome if we were on the same pair all day tomorrow? And turns out we were on the same pair for all 8 games. It was awesome. It was super cool to be able to bowl with him again and see him again, hang out with him again. And I also saw some other old friends there. It was great. And my mindset overall was so good. Like, I don't recall ever getting angry. Was I annoyed at myself? Yeah. Was I disappointed in myself? Absolutely. But I was never angry, and that was huge. I was so happy, and I still am, that I wasn't angry at myself. And I'm thankful that the work that I've been able to put in to make that better has been paying off, and it's by God's grace that I'm able to do that. So it was so cool to see that I wasn't getting angry at myself, and my mindset was healthy overall. So those are the 3 biggest things that I learned: finding my focus, trusting myself, and preparing. This was overall an awesome experience. Even though I'm a little disappointed with my performance, I know that there's only room for improvement. But that's it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.